Welcome to History with Herodotus, where the boundaries of time and space converge and the tapestry of human experience is woven into a rich narrative. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey to explore one of the most enigmatic and captivating civilizations of the ancient world, the Indus Valley Civilization. This sophisticated and mysterious culture, which flourished over 4,000 years ago, has left an indelible mark on the course of human history, and its secrets continue to intrigue and inspire us to this day. We find ourselves in the midst of the Neolithic Revolution, a period of great upheaval and transformation, when human societies were transitioning from a nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle to one of settled agriculture and pastoralism. The Fertile Crescent, which stretches from modern-day Iraq to Egypt, was the cradle of this revolution, where the first domestication of plants and animals took place. In the region that is now modern-day Pakistan and northwestern India, the climate was becoming increasingly arid, forcing human populations to migrate towards the fertile valleys and plains of the Indus River. This majestic river, which stretches over 1,800 miles from the Tibetan Plateau to the Arabian Sea, has been the lifeblood of the region for millennia, supporting a rich array of flora and fauna, and providing a natural corridor for trade, cultural exchange, and human migration. As we follow the course of the Indus River, we find ourselves in the midst of a complex and dynamic landscape where the interplay between geography, climate, and human agency has shaped the destiny of countless generations. The earliest inhabitants of this region were likely small groups of hunter-gatherers who roamed the valleys and hills in search of food and shelter. However, with the advent of agriculture, these communities began to coalesce into larger, more complex societies, which would eventually give rise to some of the most sophisticated urban centers of the ancient world. One of the key factors that contributed to the emergence of the Indus Valley Civilization was the development of a robust system of trade and cultural exchange. The region's strategic location at the crossroads of the ancient world, where the East meets the West, facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies with neighboring civilizations, such as the ancient Mesopotamians, Egyptians, and Chinese. This cosmopolitan atmosphere would have a profound impact on the evolution of the Indus Valley Civilization, shaping its art, architecture, literature, and spiritual practices in ways that were both unique and fascinating. These material remains offer a glimpse into the daily lives of the people who lived in this region, their struggles and triumphs, their beliefs and values. They speak to us across the vast expanse of time, whispering secrets of a bygone era, and inviting us to reconstruct the narrative of a civilization that was once lost to the sands of time. The earliest signs of urbanization in the Indus Valley region date back to around 3300 BCE, with the emergence of small settlements and villages, such as Mehrgarh and Kot Diji. These early communities were likely centered around the cultivation of crops, such as wheat, barley, and cotton, which would have required the development of sophisticated irrigation systems and social hierarchies. As these societies grew and became more complex, they began to exhibit characteristics that are hallmarks of civilization, such as specialized labor, social stratification, and monumental architecture. As these early communities continued to evolve, they began to exhibit a level of sophistication that would become a hallmark of the Indus Valley Civilization. By around 2600 BCE, the cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro had emerged as major urban centers, with populations estimated to be in the tens of thousands. These cities were characterized by their advanced architecture, with sophisticated irrigation systems, public baths, and granaries that speak to a high degree of organizational complexity. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Indus Valley Civilization is its system of writing, which has yet to be fully deciphered. The discovery of numerous seals and tablets bearing this enigmatic script has sparked intense debate among scholars, with some arguing that it represents a form of proto-writing, while others believe it may be a fully developed language. For instance, the Pasupati seal, discovered at Mohenjo-Daro, which depicts a horned deity surrounded by animals, is often cited as an example of the sophistication and artistry of Indus Valley writing. The economic systems of the Indus Valley Civilization were equally impressive, with evidence of a robust trade network that stretched from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean. The discovery of Indus Valley seals and pottery At sites such as Ur and Babylon in Mesopotamia, as well as in ancient Egypt, attests to the extensive reach of their mercantile endeavors. As the ancient Greek historian Arrian would later write, the Indians were the most skilled merchants of the ancient world, and their ships sailed to every corner of the known world. Around 2500 BCE, the Indus Valley Civilization began to experience a period of significant growth and expansion, with new cities emerging in the eastern regions of the Punjab and Sindh. This period also saw the development of more complex social hierarchies, with evidence of a ruling elite who resided in grandiose palaces and temples. The discovery of a large stone statue of a king or priest at Mohenjo-Daro, for example, suggests a high degree of artistic sophistication and a strong sense of royal or divine authority. As we delve deeper into the chronology of the Indus Valley Civilization, we find that around 2300 BCE, the region began to experience a series of environmental challenges, including droughts and floods, which may have contributed to the eventual decline of the civilization. However, this period also saw the emergence of new technologies, such as the use of iron tools, which would have significant implications for the development of agriculture and warfare. The Indus Valley Civilization's unique approach to urban planning is another fascinating aspect of their culture. The city of Mohenjo-Daro, for example, was designed with a sophisticated system of drains and sewers, which speaks to a high degree of concern for public health and sanitation. As the ancient Indian text, the Rig Veda, would later note, the city is like a living being with its own rhythms and cycles, and it must be cared for and nurtured if it is to thrive. The Indus Valley Civilization began to experience a decline in its urban centers, with many cities being abandoned or significantly reduced in size. The once thriving metropolises of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were eventually left to ruin, their sophisticated irrigation systems and grand architecture slowly being reclaimed by the desert sands. Despite this decline, the legacy of the Indus Valley Civilization continued to shape the region, with many of its cultural and technological achievements being adopted by subsequent civilizations. One of the most significant later events in the history of the Indus Valley Civilization was the arrival of the Indo-Aryan peoples, who migrated into the region from Central Asia around 1500 BCE. These new arrivals brought with them their own distinct culture and language, which would eventually give rise to the Vedic civilization and the development of Hinduism. As the ancient Indian text, the Mahabharata, notes, the Indo-Aryans came like a storm, sweeping away the old and bringing in the new. The blending of these two cultures had a profound impact on the region, laying the foundations for the rich cultural heritage of modern India. The Indus Valley Civilization's influence can also be seen in the development of subsequent civilizations in the region, including the Mauryan and Gupta empires. These empires built upon the advances made by the Indus Valley Civilization, further refining their systems of governance, architecture, and trade. As the Greek historian Megasthenes wrote, "The Indians are a most ingenious people, and their cities are filled with wonders." The legacy of the Indus Valley Civilization can be seen in the many archaeological sites that dot the landscape of modern Pakistan and northwestern India. A testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of its people. Today, the Indus Valley Civilization is remembered as one of the most significant and influential civilizations of the ancient world. Its contributions to the development of urban planning, architecture, and trade are still studied by scholars and admired by the general public. The Indus Valley Civilization may have declined and eventually disappeared, but its legacy lives on, a testament to the enduring spirit of human innovation and progress. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.